Let's fight. Let's fight. It's Friday night. Let's fight, folks. Welcome in the ring. It's a privilege to have each and every one of you, wherever you're joining us from this evening, at home in Guyana or in the diaspora, on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Let's fight, guys. We got to fight tonight. A lot of things happening that we want to bring to your attention, but as you know, we're going to wait until we reach that magic number to begin, folks. To begin. Let's fight. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? It is the weekend. It is the weekend. And we hope that you guys are good. As you know, as we come on, we want to share a couple of places and we invite you guys to do exactly the same. Share our live feed, retweet our live feed on Twitter. You can subscribe on Facebook. But guys, let's go. Let's fight, guys. Let's fight. Lots to cover this evening. I'm doing my bit at my end. I'm sharing also. A couple setbacks, but nothing I'm going to worry about. We got to go with the flow, roll with the punches. That's how we do it. Go with the flow and roll with the punches, guys. That is how we do it. Welcome in the ring, folks. Welcome in the ring. Let's fight. Lots to cover this evening. We're watching our numbers, ensuring that things are pretty set at our end, and we're looking good thus far. We got to share this live stream to other places. All right. Where is that other thing that I'm looking for? All right. All right. We're getting things set at my end, guys. We are getting set, and I hope you guys are set at your end too. We hope that you guys are set as well. Good to see each and every one of you. We're going to share our live stream a couple other places, and then we are going to be ready to go, guys. We are going to be ready to go. We are fired up, and we are ready to go. Tell us where you're joining us from, and tell us what kind of day you would have had. Good to see so many of you already joining us. Good to see so many of you already sharing the live stream. All right, we are getting set to do our things at our end, and we hope that you guys are doing the same at your end as well. All right, I gotta share. We gotta share the live stream two places, and then we good to go, guys. We good to go. So let's get ready. Let's get ready. Share at your end as well. Whether you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, we are getting set, folks. We are getting set. All right? That much we can promise you. We're getting set. And we're watching the numbers. We're almost where we need to be. We are watching the numbers. Lots to cover. Lots to cover, guys. All right? I'm sharing still a couple places. Don't dig nothing, to ensure that we're bringing everybody into the conversation. Almost where we need to be. Almost. All right? Let me make sure all is well at my end and I'm not leaving anything out. All right? Almost there, folks. Almost there. Those of you who are still at work, taking care of business, we wish you well. You're in our thoughts tonight, of course. You are in our thoughts. All right. I'm still sharing, guys. I'm still sharing. So if I look a little distracted, that's only because I'm practicing what I'm preaching. Still sharing. Guys, share the stream. We thank you for doing that. All right. I think I'm a little ahead of myself here. Let me just dial back a little bit. Almost where we need to go. Almost ready, guys. All right, we're almost at that magic number. Almost at that magic number. Almost there, folks. Almost there. All right. Almost there. Almost there. Just tweaking things at my end here, ensuring that we are good to go. Tweaking. We're almost there, folks. I don't know where I left my phone. I know where I left it. Let me make sure. All right. We're almost there, guys. It's 5 past the hour. At least here in Guyana. I think it's different in New York and some other places. Almost where we need to go. Almost there, guys. So good to see so many of you are already on. Right? You know, y'all like tech ups. That is the problem with y'all. Y'all like story. And Trinidadians would say y'all like bacchanal. That is your issue. Y'all like bacchanal story, guys. We're almost ready. We're almost ready. Bear with us. Yep, it's Friday, guys, and we're gonna do some stuff this evening. I'm asking for your apologies in advance. Right? Let me just tell you, I'm asking for your apologies in advance. It's gonna get a little hot. It's gonna get a little hot. Last night I was sweating like a hog. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. It's good to be with you guys. Good to be with you guys. We encourage you to share the live stream. I always say, guys, that you are integral in this program that we have. Integral in this program. This is only what it is because of you guys. You guys are very, very integral. I'm getting some minor challenges at my end, so bear with me. Right? Every time you guys share the live stream, it means something to us. It means that additional people can hear, as Randy always says, valid and credible information. Every time you retweet, every time you subscribe on Facebook, it means that other persons are going to be able to view the live stream and be part of the discussion. All right? I'm getting some minor challenges, as I said, but we're going to rectify that. That I promise you. Because you know why? The devil is a liar. Guys, oh Father, help us this evening. A few minor challenges behind the scenes, but we're going to work through it and we're going to get up to scratch. A few minor challenges. I think it's the saboteurs, you know. That's what I think. I think it's the saboteurs at work. There's so much we got to share with you guys. So much we got to share with you guys. We think it's those folks hard at work. All right. I don't know why we're not. All right. Our projection system seemed to be doing its own story this evening. And we're going to try again with that. Oh boy. I hope you guys had a good day. As you know by now, nothing keeps us down here, you know. You understand? I mean, nothing keeps us down here. And if they kill me, another Rasta can take my place. So I ain't worried. I am not worried at all. Right? If they brackle the eye, another Rasta gonna take my place. Good? That much we are confident of. That much we're confident of. I'm still working to make sure that we get what we want at my end. And I have a guest with me this evening. Come on, work with me tonight. Work. All right, I think we have it there. I think I'm ready to go, guys. Oh, Father God. As the people say, Father God. If you only know the challenges sometimes we have behind the scenes. Father God, help us. Help us. All right, let me get some stuff ready. So much happening. So many things, folks. So many things. You wouldn't believe. All right, I'm almost ready. Bear with me a second. Bear with me a second. Bear with me a second. Almost ready. All right. You all ever hear the term when it rains, it pours? All right, I'm almost ready, folks. Bear with me. Challenges, challenges, challenges. Challenges. And we are almost ready. All right. One more step I need to take, and we're going to be good to go. Let's get ready to rumble! That's where we're going. I hope you're ready, guys. I hope you're all ready. All right. Some of this stuff always give us a bit of challenge. All right, I'm gonna get that. I'm ready now. Are you guys ready for the hot topics? Huh? Hope you guys are ready. We are ready for the hot topics, guys. All right. And we have that. All right, folks. Let's get ready. And here we are. I don't know why y'all keep coming by, you know. You know why? All right. Bacchanal story. You're like, folks, let us turn our attention to COVID-19. COVID-19. And I guess by now you guys have realized we've been starting here for quite a few nights now because COVID-19 is getting very dire. And we could no longer leave it at the end of our program. As you know, we always encourage you guys to social distance, to wear your mask, to sanitize, and all the other things. We always encourage you guys to do that. But COVID, the confirmed cases have been escalating. They have been escalating, as well as the COVID deaths, as you would recognize by now. And this is a government that has been saying one thing, folks, and doing something totally different. Doing something totally different. Just today, for instance, I want to walk you through the fact that the government has put out some guidelines as concerns COVID and PAGWA. The government has put out some guidelines as concerns COVID and PAGWA. And I want to go through them for you because it's going to set the context to what we are going to be discussing this evening. It's going to set the context. So we're talking about COVID. Yep. And the fact that it has been so pervasive. The fact that it has been so pervasive, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And yeah, so let's talk about these guidelines that were put out. So the government of Guyana, through the Department of Public Information, and I want to bring some of this up for you. So I'm going to change my screen orientation a little bit because I really want to come in on some of this. Right? These are some of the guidelines that was published by the government. I'm gonna go through some of them with you because what comes up next is going to make better sense. I promise you that. Right? So in terms of the COVID-19 guidelines, the government says that PAGWA events, right? PAGWA events at Mandirs, including cultural programs, chowtals, and other services, are allowed 40% capacity. So whatever is your seating capacity at your venue, you are allowed 40% of that during COVID-19 for your PAGWA services, etc. 40%. And COVID guidelines, according to the government of Guyana, says that Mandirs are encouraged to utilize their outdoor spaces where available. Right? Number 2, it says socially distanced gatherings for the burning of hookah are allowed, but you have to be what? Socially distant. Number 3, it says large PAGWA events, including hundreds or thousands of persons, are not allowed. The government's 4th guideline is PAGWA gatherings on trucks, canter, and other vehicles carrying alcohol are not allowed. Right? I don't know if they're not allowed because the vehicles are carrying alcohol or because of COVID-19. But again, the 4th restriction celebrating PAGWA says gatherings on trucks, canters, and other vehicles carrying alcohol are not allowed. The 5th guideline for PAGWA says, this is the government's guideline, persons are encouraged to celebrate in their home circles, with your family and friends, home circle. And the final guideline says, mask must be worn at all times. This is the government of Guyana's guidelines for PAGWA. Mask must be worn at all times. This is an APNU AFC guideline. This is the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration. It's government, fraudulent as they are, installed as they are, illegal as they are, right? Must be worn at all times. 6 feet social distancing maintained along with frequent hand washing and sanitizing. Masks must be worn at all times, and 6 feet social distancing maintained with frequent hand washing and sanitizing. Folks, this is the Minister of Local Government today. This is the Minister of Local Government and what I think are local government staff. The 6th guideline says social distancing, 6 feet, and masks must be worn. Remember, it is the same government that told us recently that they're going to clamp down in terms of enforcing COVID-19 regulations and measures, and persons will be prosecuted. This is the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Darmlal, who has had COVID-19 in the past, who has been a confirmed case of COVID-19. This is the Minister of Local Government in breach of his government COVID-19 guidelines, as the guidelines in and of themselves and the guidelines as regards celebrating Pagua. The final guideline says you must be 6 feet in terms of social distancing, and you must wear a mask. And I'm asking, where is the COVID task force? That is the question I would like to ask. Where is the COVID task force? Ladies and gentlemen, it gets better. It gets better. Because not only is Nigel Darmlal in breach of the COVID-19 guidelines, not only is Darmlal in breach of them, the fraudulent Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlall. Folks, I might have a problem with what 6 feet social distancing look like, or perhaps even what a mask and mask wearing looks like. But something tells me that this is not 6 feet social distancing. Something tells me that this is not 6 feet social distancing, and they're not wearing a mask. Quite recently, a family member of the Attorney General reprimanded him, a close family member, for not wearing his mask in public. But hearing Ian Tekin learning, ladies and gentlemen, right? Vindhya Nandlal says, what COVID? While posting photographs of Anil Nandlal on social media, what COVID? Vindhya Nandlal says, at this point, mask is a mere accessory. That was a few weeks ago at another event where the Attorney General was not wearing his mask. That was Vindhya Nandlal. Those were some other photographs that were published by Vindhya Nandlal, who said, right, at this point, the mask is a mere accessory. And later on that post, Vindhya Nandlal says, imagine taking every precaution at home only to have this coming home to you. Let me change the orientation for you so you can see it clearly. Yep, bottom right-hand side. Imagine taking every precaution only to have this coming home to you. So the Minister of Legal Affairs should know better. The Minister of Legal Affairs should know better. But ladies and gentlemen, it gets even better than that. So not only do we have Nigel Darmlal, the Attorney General, breaching COVID-19 protocols, but today, Irfan Ali, Catfish Irfan Ali, was talking about COVID-19. And this is what Irfan Ali said. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lost too many lives already. The government is sparing no efforts to ensure that we get vaccinated as quickly as possible. But we too, all of us, have a responsibility to help in this progress. This is posted on the Office of the President Facebook page. All of us have the responsibility to help in this process. He goes on to say, I urge you to take the guidelines seriously, to take seriously the guidelines of the COVID-19 task force, as together we rally to ensure we get out of this pandemic as quickly as possible. Continue to stay safe. Obviously, Darmlal didn't read this. Obviously, Deodat Indar didn't read this. Obviously, Anil Nandilal hasn't been reading this. Nobody cares about Irfan Ali. Irfan Ali is in a twilight zone by himself. A twilight zone by himself, talking about issues, right? And while the total opposite is happening in his government. And that is a fact, folks. He says one thing, and the total opposite is happening in his government. And I didn't know how to sum up all that has been transpired. Honestly, I didn't know how to sum it up. And so I am going to perhaps ask for some help in terms of summing up what has been transpiring under this government. I'm going to ask for a little help this evening, and bear with me, because I was looking for some words, perhaps, that can help me to put this thing in perspective. Right? I was looking for some words, and I asked you folks to bear with me, because it's one of those evenings where I ain't thinking too well. Right? So bear with me. Some words to sum up what has been happening under this administration.
Again, like I fed up with this thing. Again, like I fed up with this thing. Again, like I fed up with this thing. Again, like I fed up with this.
Well, folks, I'm still looking for those words, and I haven't been able to find the right words. But I'm still searching, guys. I am still searching. Again, folks, just today, Irfan Ali says, I urge you to take seriously the guidelines of COVID-19 task force, as we rally to ensure that we get out of this pandemic. Right? And folks, just today, we continue to see the surge in COVID-19 confirmed cases. There were 109 confirmed cases of COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen. 109. Like I fed up. 109, ladies and gentlemen. Confirmed cases of COVID-19, 109.
Again, like I fed up with this thing. Again, like I fed up with this thing. Again, like I fed up.
109, ladies and gentlemen. I fed up. I am searching for the words. I am searching for the words, ladies and gentlemen, to really state how I feel. I am searching for the words. 109 confirmed cases. Guys, you all remember all of those ministerial outreaches and the ones that are being planned? You all remember the race at the circuit that attracted thousands of Guyanese? You all remember that? We're seeing the numbers now. 109 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Like I fed up. Like I fed up. Folks, the puppet presidency. We continue to watch the unfolding of the puppet presidency. And I've been keeping you very much in tune with what has been happening in terms of the puppet presidency. Keeping you in tune, guys, with the puppet presidency. Yep. And today was another day in the theater of the puppet presidency. Another day. Let me change my screen orientation so you guys can better see what I want to show you. Another day. So today, Irfan Ali was, recently rather, Irfan Ali was paid, I think this was yesterday or the day before, a courtesy call by the Guyana Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists. Was yesterday. A courtesy call by the Guyana Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists. And guess who showed up at the meeting? Take a guess. Who showed up at the meeting, folks? Huh? Now, I want you guys to study this photograph. Right? In politics, you got to learn to study images. Optics in politics is everything. And let's call this session perhaps Politics 101, the optics. Now, notice that Jagdeo is in command of the meeting. Right? Notice that Irfan is leaning in to hear what Jagdeo says. Right? And this is probably at Jagdeo's office because Jagdeo is drinking tea. Right? I told you about the puppet presidency. So it's Jagdeo and Irfan meeting with the conference of the Seventh-day Adventists. So that was yesterday, folks. That was yesterday. Today was another day in the puppet presidency theater. This is today at State House. This was today at State House. And this was a meeting with the management of the COVID-19 task force. How ironic. The management of the COVID-19 task force of the Public Hospital Corporation, Ministry of Health, and other medical professionals. So members of the task force met at State House to meet with the president. And what they got is another day in the puppet presidency theater. There again, Mr. Jagdeo, front and center. Right? Notice he's not wearing mask. And this is a meeting concerning COVID-19 management. Let me read part of the text for you. Right? The meeting was briefed about the vaccine rollout, after which Ali discussed plans and various scenarios to address the increased number of COVID-19 cases. Oh my. This is the puppet presidency. Notice here, Jagdeo is not wearing a mask, but the president got on a mask. Notice here also that some people were playing Pagua. And how y'all gonna play Pagua and come and turn up in the people's chair? And so the people cover the chair with some garbage bags. This is Guyana, folks. This is Guyana, right? The folks covered the chairs with black plastic bags. I told you, optics in politics is everything. Optics in politics, folks, is everything. So they covered on the chairs with black plastic bags, right? No social distancing here. Everybody wearing the mask, save and except BJ. Folks, y'all better understand where the power lies in this country. You understand me? Y'all could bury y'all head on the rock, the trenches and so on, but this is facts, right? I wish we had another angle of this meeting to show who's in charge. Oh, we do? All right. This is Mr. Jagdeo. Notice his mask is on the table and he's drinking tea. This is a baby. Or he's British. One or two, the two. He's a baby or he's British. So he's drinking tea, more tea. His mask is on the table because what is COVID? Right? What is COVID, ladies and gentlemen? Mask on the table. What the hell is COVID? Mask on the table. I wish we had another angle. Right? There it is. The mask, the man on mask, right? For the medical professionals to discuss how they can bring down the COVID-19 cases. So he took off his mask to discuss, right? He took off his mask to discuss. And those of you who feel I'm being unnecessarily harsh about a puppet presidency, day before yesterday, the meeting of the 7 Days Adventist folks, and the illegitimate president, Jagdeo present. Today, the task force for the Ghana Public Hospital Corporation meeting, Jagdeo present. Recently, Irfan met with the ACB EU countries. Sorry, this was the meeting concerning the EU and their electoral observation mission. Who present at the meeting? The puppet master. Up front and present. Right? Oh, well, there's only 3 instances, man. It's not a puppet presidency. It's only 3 instances. Ali meeting with the ABC EU countries. Who present? The puppet master. No mask. Right. Ali meeting with the, I think this was the medical officers, the regional medical officers. Who present? PJ present. The puppet master. Live and direct, folks. Live and direct. What more can I say to this? Folks, what more can I say to it?
Like, I fed up with this thing. James Conte again. Like,
what more can I say to this? I'm trying to find the words, folks. I'm trying to find the words. I'm not finding the words. I'm not finding the words. So he's meeting with the regional health professional. Who present? The puppet master. And I have warned you, very soon, when Ali given his major presidential address, this can be the picture. Remember recently, we saw Ali writing to the governor of Central Bank saying that Jagdeo can sign currency and supervise the production of currency and all of that. Right? This is what a puppet presidency / dictatorship looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what a puppet presidency looks like. And that is why, folks, that is why you have one thing being said and something else being done. Because you understand Mr. Jagdeo has no regards for COVID-19. And he has already said that many will die. Right? That's natural. But the economy has to open up. So when Ali talks about combating COVID-19, when Ali talks about what he says here, he says, I urge you to take seriously the guidelines of COVID-19 task force, of the COVID-19 task force, as together we rally to ensure we get out of this pandemic as quickly as possible. Ali talking garbage. Because he can't even hold his own ministers accountable. Ali's talking garbage. Absolute garbage. So let's put this one side. Absolute garbage. Another day in the puppet presidency. Yep. Another day. Folks, in other news. In other news, I don't know how else to put it. In other news, right? They got to wrap the 2 of them in 2 black plastic bags. Pack up the clothes in a garbage bag. Oh, Father. Another day in the puppet presidency regime, folks. In other news, right? Some other folks that should go in a garbage bag. As we're coming on this evening, we learned that a Cameroon fella, a beast, chopped his wife and burned down his house. A beast. Yep. The story reads that a farmer of Grand Friendship on the Lower Cameroon River in Region 2 went berserk today and chopped his pregnant wife before setting their house on fire and watching it burn to cinders. The incident reportedly occurred around 9 hours this morning, but it was not until 17 hours that the 23-year-old Melissa Cameron, better known as Melly, was air dashed to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation to seek further medical attention after being referred by doctors on duty at the Surrey Public Hospital. Folks, the whole country gone to mess. The whole damn country gone to mess. Right? The whole country gone to mess. Last evening, we told you about a schoolboy who was stabbed. And we want to give you an update that he did undergo surgery. And this was a young man from Annandale Secondary School. The report we're picking up on says that he was attacked and stabbed multiple times. And we are displaying some of the photographs that were taken of his belongings that were found on the parapet where he was stabbed. All right, some of his belongings there. The story says that he was attacked and stabbed multiple times during a robbery on the East Coast in his village. And this again was Annandale Secondary School student. The story reads that residents stumbled across items of the child at the Annandale seawall. Details of the incident are still sketchy, and it is not clear if the suspect has been apprehended. This is what the story says. Interesting. There has been an increase in violent robberies, or violent robberies, some people would say, particularly in the Annandale community, with residents blaming roaming gangs of youths from neighboring communities. Of course. Of course, they can blame roaming gangs of youths from neighboring communities. Of course. All right? So, the puppet and the puppet master got to tell us what is happening with crime. Right? They got to tell us that. But we have an indication, we have a sense of what is happening where crime is concerned. We have a sense of what is happening. Because in other news, ladies and gentlemen, in other news, just today, retired Assistant Police Commissioner Kevin Adonis and 3 ranks were charged with conspiring to steal over $19 million from the Guyana Police Force. Yep. Retired Assistant Police Commissioner Kevin Adonis and 3 ranks were today charged with conspiring to steal $19 million from the Guyana Police Force. The report reads, ladies and gentlemen, that they were not required to plead to the charge which were read to them when they appeared before the Chief Magistrate Anne McLennan in the Georgetown Magistrate Court. It is alleged that between March 26, 2019 and March 29, 2019, at Georgetown, the 4 being public officers employed by the Guyana Police Force conspired among themselves and with other persons unknown to steal $19 million. Remember, there were 19 fraud charges. There's $1 million for every fraud charge. $19 million from the Guyana Police Force. Bearing in mind, there is $300 million missing from the Guyana Police Force. First, you better share this live stream. You all understand why the people don't like the prayers, right? You all understand why they didn't like the prayers. I hope you all understand that. All right? I have a guest with me this evening.
I'm up.
MP Ganesh, my Paul, make sense of this thing for me. I enable it.
Good night. Good night.
Like a fed up.
You know, the first thing that comes to mind is when I saw those pictures with Nigel Darmlal, Deodat Indar, and Anil Nandalal. I am tempted to ask the question: where is the police force?
Yes.
Where are
You
the
have to
police
ask the question.
officers that
Don't be
are
tempted.
mandated?
Ask the question. Submit to the temptation.
Where is the Guyana police force? Where are the police officers that are mandated to ensure that the COVID-19 guidelines are followed?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me they have not seen those pictures? They
Yeah.
have a communication department that they claim was revamped.
Yeah.
Mr. Ramotar and the other gentleman, the other civilian, they are a part of the communication unit of the Guyana Police Force. They are manning the social media network also. So they must have
Yeah.
seen those pictures.
Ganesh,
And where
the
are they?
guidelines, the COVID-19 guideline, that's number 6. If they skip everything else, says mask must be worn at all times. This is for Pagua. Mask must be worn at all times. 6 feet social distancing maintained along with frequent hand washing and sanitizing.
Yes, and it's worrying, but I don't want to skip without recognizing the traffic officers that are doing what I will consider an excellent job at the Demerara Harbour Bridge in terms of how they're managing traffic and the traffic control in terms of ensuring orderly fashion in terms of crossing the Demerara Harbour Bridge. I mean, we must be thankful that there is a harbour bridge for us to cross, but I think the harbour bridge, there is dire need for a new harbour bridge. The traffic this afternoon was hectic. From as far as Mandela Avenue, there was a built-up of traffic. I had to do some meandering on the road. I had to find some
Oh,
shortcuts and so
I
on.
thought you had sirens like the other ministers
And
and
I don't
flashing
have
lights.
sirens. I don't have sirens like them, but I had to go through some shortcuts, and I will not share those shortcuts because I don't want everybody else to find it and then they cumbersome the whole trip of reaching home too. But not to exaggerate, it took me 1 hour and 45 minutes to. I was at the Mandela Avenue there at 6:30, and it took me 1 hour and 45 minutes to get home when it would normally take me half an hour on any ordinary
Oh,
given day of crossing the Demerara Harbour Bridge with a little traffic, it would take me half an hour. And it took me this afternoon 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I can only imagine the people
yeah.
who are using the normal route, to travel on Mandela Avenue, Back Road,
Yeah.
onto the East Bank, and then cross the Harbour Bridge there. It's very, very troubling. But
Yeah.
I want to salute those traffic ranks that are doing their jobs. I want to salute the ones on the west coast of Demerara, the east bank of Demerara. I want to salute them. They're doing an excellent job. They're in the sun, they're in the rain, they're in cloudy days, windy days. They're there and they're doing their job. And they deserve some recognition. But I want to also say to the Guyana Police Force that not only must we praise you for what you are doing on the public road in terms of directing traffic and an excellent job there, but equally so, you must also ensure that COVID-19 guidelines are enforced so that we
Correct.
can reduce the number of positive cases and by extension deaths. And you don't want a situation where these people that are breaching the COVID-19 guidelines put others at risk. I mean, Anil Nandalal, Deodat Indar, and Nigel Darmlal, they also serve in the National Assembly. So they can very
Correct.
well bring it there. They can very well
And
spread
what
it
is
there,
shocking
and I
is
could
that
be at risk.
Darmlal has had
Who will get
COVID-19, Ganesh.
it?
Darmlal has had COVID-19. And it's not
And he
acting
can get it
responsible or
back
reckless.
because we know the speaker got it back. The speaker had it 2 times.
The speaker
So
bad luck.
there is no doubt that Darnell can get it. He's not immune to it. Nobody is immune to it. And if there's any living example to tell you that COVID-19 can hit you a second time, the Speaker of the National Assembly is that example.
Yeah. But what is the COVID task force doing, Ganesh? They're seeing? Huh?
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Dharamlal is a part of that COVID-19 task force. But Sharad, greater than that, I want you to give me the opportunity to inform your viewers. The other night I had the privilege of reading a letter that was sent to Irfan Ali concerning the behavior of the permanent secretary, Prema Narain, at the Ministry
Yeah.
of Local
Yes.
Government and Regional Development. And I read that letter out to your viewership, and I know that many of them may want to know what has happened since then. I want to tell your
Tell us,
viewership
Ganesh.
that today At 9:30, a meeting was summoned. Nigel Darmlal summoned a meeting with all his staff at the Camp Street location. The Camp Street
Uh-huh.
location, or 237 Camp Street, is the annex of the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development. And Nigel
Uh-huh. Tell
Darmlal
us.
summoned all his staff there today, and it is reported to me that it was just a political meeting where a series of political talks were meted out to the public servants. They were told about the People's Progressive Party and if they want to join, how they can join. They were told
Uh-huh.
that none of them can basically stop him from doing what he has to do. And they were also told that, and all this is what was said to me. So
Uh-huh.
I don't have the proof in terms of a recording, nor was I
Mm-hmm.
present there. I only report to you and your viewership what was said to me and what was said
Uh-huh.
to me by the staff who were in attendance. And they
So
even
this is in
said,
response to them writing to the president, I figure.
yes, yes, exactly, in response to
Wow.
them. And a lot of blame was cast on one particular section of the staff. And a lot of people were very dung and demoralized with that meeting when they
Uh-huh.
expected to have some positive effect coming from the minister, some encouraging words, some words of bonding to the extent where you can have a good relationship and a strong working environment to function in. They left the
Uh-huh.
meeting demoralized. They left the meeting understanding that it is the minister who's in charge, large and in charge, and
Mm-hmm.
the permanent secretary who gives the directives in terms of administrative management of the ministry. Clearly,
Uh-huh.
Dharamlal doesn't know what he's about. Clearly, he's power drunk. Clearly, he sees himself as the God of gods, and he will fall in his own time because of his lackluster and because of his malevolent behavior as a minister of government. And they always say that today you may be one person, tomorrow you can be another, and
Yeah.
you should
Yeah.
always practice. You should always
Yeah.
practice in your different stages of whichever office you hold. You must always be humble. You must be guided by humbleness, and you
This is
must
an
always
arrogant
spread love,
obturator.
unity, and
Yeah.
togetherness. You must never be barbaric. You must never be an individual that sees yourself above any other person. But that is Dharamlal. Dharamlal is that
Yeah.
kind of a person. But you see
Yeah.
that picture you're seeing there, out of the 130 something staff members the ministry has, in both their programs, only about 30 something persons participated in the Pagua celebration. And it is
Mhm.
not because of the requirement in terms of 40% attendance or in terms of the COVID-19 guidelines. People were just not comfortable pretending at a
Yeah.
session
They
like that
tied
to
with
put a
them.
smile on their face.
They
They
tied
are
with
not
them.
prepared to do that. They don't
They
want to
tied
be
with them.
pretentious. They are ashamed of the administration. They are ashamed of their minister, and they don't
Yeah.
have an environment of working in a manner where they can be comfortable. So they choose to go to work at 8 o'clock and go home at 4:30 because they have to for the sake of earning a living. But in terms of them loving their job, they don't. They don't love their job now because they are faced with an atmosphere where it is very cloudy and you cannot
Yeah.
see far in terms of what you want to do to develop yourself and develop the ministry and by extension provide a proper service to the people of Guyana.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ganesh is little things are signposts as to the kind of government that you're going to get and the kind of leadership. And if you have an administration who cannot even follow their own regulations, what else is going to happen? They can think about your human rights, your rights as a worker. They're not going to consider those things if their own rules that they put in place to constrain themselves, they're not following. They're not going to
Exactly.
follow too
And,
much
and,
too,
and
too
Sherrod,
many of the rules.
Tara, send these pictures. We should send these pictures to the Guyana Police Force and request of them to institute charges on these three ministers that have breached the COVID-19 guidelines. That is what we should do.
I agree with you totally. I agree with you totally because again, what we're seeing in the Ali administration, he goes out there and talk one thing, but I tear up the thing. I can't even refer to it. He goes out there and talks one thing, and then comes back and says something else. You know, obey the guidelines. That's what he said today. Ganesh is on the Ministry of the Presidency of the President work website. Facebook page rather. It's right there. The president is encouraging, but his own ministers aren't following him. You understand me? Because you
Exactly.
understand where the power is in this government.
They don't have any respect for him. They don't respect the fact that he is the president or he is the. They also agree with us that he is sitting in the seat of presidency on fraudulent votes. Maybe they're agreeing with us that indeed there were 49 ballot boxes with thousands of votes that cannot be accounted for. Maybe they're agreeing with us that dead people did vote. Maybe they're agreeing with us that there were missing oaths of identity. Maybe they're agreeing with us that they were missing poll books. And maybe they're agreeing with us, greater of all, that the president is not the president. He is just an
Yeah,
illegal figurehead sitting in the chair, occupying space to facilitate the running of a country. Nothing else. Maybe they're
yeah,
agreeing with us on that part.
yeah. Ganesh, it is no secret that lots of the major newspapers lean to the side of the current administration. It is no secret. This is Peeping Tom this morning, Kaito News. When the PPPC took office, there were only 20 COVID-19 deaths. They had to have known that the rate at which they were reopening the economy and the failure to enforce social restrictions would have led to deaths. This is a no-brainer. So even somebody from Iphoc University could grasp it. The column says it is hard to imagine that the PPPC pretending that it did not predict increased deaths with the reopening of the economy.
Man, I think people are recognizing this government for exactly what they are. A set of people that are saying one thing and then they're doing the other. Duplicitous and hypocrites. Those are the two best words that can be used to describe them and their actions. And
But
they
how many of us
cannot
got to
run from
die?
that.
How many citizens got to die, Ganesh, before this government says something that is meaningful in terms of curbing these increased cases of COVID-19? As a matter of fact, the very column, Ganesh, said that when the president, it was said last evening that the president was going to speak to the nation on COVID-19, they thought it was a lockdown coming because there's a surge in COVID-19 confirmed cases and death. So Skytree News said that they thought a lockdown was coming, but that was not so.
And I think in probably the a couple of days back to now, probably a week or so, you've been seeing 40 and 50, 60, 70 cases confirmed. So as though these people have no consideration for
Yeah,
our people and this grave dilemma of
yeah,
COVID-19. It's as though they
yeah,
don't care. If there is one
yeah,
thing the people of this country knows, if it's one thing that they know about this APNU AFC administration, is that we cared for our
yeah,
citizenry. We cared for them to the point where we had stringent measures, where we had mechanism in place for their safety. We ensured that workers were working on a rotational basis. We ensured that sanitizer and masks were provided to the staff. We did not put them at risk to get COVID 19. We reduced the capacity of the buses that transport people. We ensured that only essential workers had to come out and work. And this thing about opening up the economy and all about ensuring businesses thrive and the likes, Why must it happen at the expense of people's
Yeah.
lives? It
Yeah.
is you
Ganesh,
and I.
Ganesh, allow me to interrupt you for a second. We have some breaking news at this hour. I am seeing Jamaro Waves reporting that several of the office of the president staff COVID positive. That is happening. That is being reported by Jamaro Waves as we speak.
You
Several
see,
office of the president staff COVID positive. I don't know if you can open it at your end, but that is what them ways reporting. I just saw that pop up in my inbox. Right, several
these people don't
staff at
care.
the ministry
They
president.
don't
Yeah,
care. These
go.
people, they just don't care, and it is us who have to struggle ourselves to ensure that we wear our face mask, ensure that we use sanitizer, ensure that we stay our distance, ensure that we take all the necessary precautions to save ourselves. And I don't know if they think if all of us die out, they're going to have an economy to survive, that they're going to have
Yeah,
this economy that they so talk about in opening up it and ensure this happen and
it's
that
going to
happen.
be
What
so
happens if we die out?
embarrassing for them when they are forced to lock down. Ganesh, let me read two
Really?
paragraphs of the report out of them with some members of the public. At least 7 members of the Office of the President Press and Publicity Unit have tested positive and have been ordered to isolate themselves at home, according to high-level government sources. The head of the unit, right, Suel Finlay, did not immediately answer calls to respond to WhatsApp messages for an official comment, right? But the sources said that after one staff member began showing signs of the potentially deadly virus, a decision was taken to test him and others. And we always talk about them having these members of the press or publicity unit for the office of the president or the press fraternity gallivanting, as you would say, Ganesh, all over this country behind them and spreading COVID-19.
Exactly. Exactly. All of them, the entire staff should should do tests again. Not only the press and publicity unit, but everybody in the Ministry of the Presidency should get tested again.
And we will show why again, Ganesh. We have this increase. Look, you see, this is a government leading by example, right? These are government ministers leading by example.
I don't know what else to say, Sherrod. I really, really don't know what else to say about this behavior. And I hope that the donor countries are seeing that they are taking their taxpayers' money, they're taking their country's resource, and they're
Yeah.
sending it to this administration when this administration is doing absolutely nothing to ensure the protection of themselves and their people. But
Ganesh,
it's like if this government wants all of us to get the COVID-19 so that they will enjoy more resources coming
oh yeah,
from their friends
oh yeah,
in the diplomatic community. You know, it's like if
oh yeah,
all right, come everybody, all Guyanese, let's ensure we get COVID-19. America is going to send us 500 million, or America is going to give us 500,000 COVID vaccine. Let's do it. Let's get
yeah,
it. Let's get the COVID-19. That's the kind
yeah,
of behavior they're entertaining. They're
yeah,
say the attitude that they're giving out to the people is basically let's be careless and carefree, and the outside world is going to care for us.
yeah,
That is the
yeah,
kind of thing that they're kind of I'm sensing from them.
yeah. Ganesh, we're at
Shameful
program
and
time,
disgraceful.
unfortunately.
Shameful and
We're at,
disgraceful that this government cannot look after its own people, cannot ensure
yeah,
our own safety. If the crime is on the increase, people are getting gunned down in our streets.
yeah.
Robbery is on the increase. Stabbing of school children. A series of ills is taking over our society. And
I'm
the
fed up.
People's Progressive Party seems not to care
Yeah,
because all they are interested in is filling their pockets, filling their friends' pockets, and ensuring the private sector strive. And what is it that the private sector is giving back to citizenry? What is it that the private sector is doing for their own employees? God up in heaven knows.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the reality. That is the reality. Ganesh, again,
Sad.
thanks for joining me this evening. Thanks for joining us this evening. We always love having you come by and shed light on these national issues. Thanks again.
Thanks, Sherrod. Have a pleasant rest of the night.
You too, Ganesh. Folks, that is our time for this evening. We encourage you guys, as we do every evening, to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize. And even when you're in groups of 10, that is allowed under the regulation, you still should be socially distanced. Folks, follow especially the guidelines concerning the celebration of Pagwa. Follow the guidelines. Thanks for joining us this evening, and we commend Mark Benchcap's program, Straight Up with Mark, following us on social media. Thanks for joining, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, folks, and we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe.